Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the Virtual Velocity Racing Xfinity Series, O'Reilly Series, whatever you want to call it. Either way, we're here at the beautiful Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Looking forward to 100 laps of hopefully green flag racing. It's fun, fast, high-banked tri-oval here in Las Vegas, and should put on a great race for us here tonight. Carl and we're joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, ready to do a little gambling here tonight?
Always ready to do a little gambling, Carl, but my TV is loud with our on-live broadcast, so I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good. Well, either way, it should be a good one out here tonight. We had Dalton Kilroe win last week, and the first time that we've seen Kilroe win over Ryan Kelly all season. So we'll see if that kind of broke the seal now for the season, and he finally gets enough confidence to get it going here. Certainly extended his points lead out to 33 points now over Ryan Kelly. Then you got Derek Paulson in third, Mike Casey, Anthony Poston for your top five, Sean Wilder, Todd Merkel, Eric Blunt, Ty Marasco, and Robert Kahn for your top 10, as Marasco had finally a kind of a stinker of a race that this past time out, as he wasn't able to get his consistent top fives and even top threes rolling last week. But looks like we are done and dusted here with the qualifying here tonight. We got 18 cars looking to take the green flag here tonight. I know a couple were dealing with the iRacing updates, big iRacing update earlier this week, and some of the drivers just unfortunately not able to get the updates done before we get in here tonight. But looking forward to 18 cars out there on track. Jimmy, do we have you back for the starting lineup here tonight?
Yes, we do. We have me back for the start of the lineup. I just got to support our own channel here and the fans out there. Obviously, just want to give a shout out to everybody who joins the section every week. But in order to get started, we must first have a lineup in our starting order. And that starting order here tonight will be Dustin Franklin on that pole, with Brandon Meyer on the outside. Derek Paulson and Todd Merkel will make up row number 2. Mike Hasty and John Garrett will make up row number 3. Michael Taylor, Dalton Kilroe, row number 4. Row number 5 with Eric Blount and Len McNeese. Tim Lee and Ty Marasco for row number 6. Row number 7, Sean Wilder, Cade Green, Michael Pratt not in the back tonight on row number 8 there with Cole Spaulding, and then Hemi Giardini and Todd Poston will bring up the back of the field. Yeah, big update this week for the fans out there. Hopefully the drivers, obviously they're going to wait down. I think it's a little too late now, as qualifying is in, as they're getting ready to take the track here. But yeah, it was a big 36 gig update that was put out on Tuesday, so plenty of time to be prepared for that. But some people don't have the time like we do to get on the computer every single day. So I wish they were out here, those that couldn't make it, and I guess we'll see you next week. But for tonight, the gamble is on, as Dustin Franklin will lead the field.
This car is rolling, and it's time to get this thing underway. We definitely got some new paint schemes on some of the cars out here, is what I'm seeing, is some of them feeling the thrill of Vegas, especially the front row of the field here. Brandon Meyer's got what is that? Looks like River Card brakes. Trying to say, I couldn't see exactly what it said on the side of there, but either way, a little poker theme for his car. And then the 71 on the outside got a little World Series of Poker paint scheme as well. So maybe you're looking to hit the tables after we get done with the race here tonight. Certainly been quite some time since I hit the tables in Atlantic City, or even in some of the local casinos by me. But poker and blackjack were definitely my games of choice when I did frequent the casinos. So we'll see who's got the right the hot shoe here tonight. See who's the odds-on favorite to get this thing done. We take a look again at I want to say a poor qualifying effort from Dalton Kilroe back in 8th position, but honestly at this point I feel like that's kind of his staple. He qualifies right there in the back half of the top 10, and by lap 15 he'll probably be up there battling for the lead. Well, we're going to find out here very soon, because the green flag is out. 100 laps here at Vegas is underway.
On the way they go here, 18 drivers to tackle the field to try to defeat the odds and become the victor here. Can that and will it be maybe the likes of Dustin Franklin, who started on the pole here tonight, or will Dalton Kilrow continue to make his way through the field and get some great finishes, capturing another victory here tonight? So we are going to find out here after 100 laps. But lap 1, it's all Dustin Franklin out front over to number 71 of Brandon Myers. They come out of turn number 4, down from the front stretch for the first time. And it will be Dustin Franklin taking that first lap green.
This is our 9th race of the season. We've only had 4 different winners here so far. We had Dalton Kilrow, Ryan Kelly splitting, getting 3 wins apiece. And then we had Derek Paulson and Anthony Poston getting wins, as well as we had, it was Anthony Poston winning at Daytona, and then Derek Paulson winning at Echo Park. So kind of the 2, if you want to call them super speedways that we've had so far here, have been kind of the wild cards that Ryan Kelly and Dalton Kilrow didn't win at. So we'll see if we'll see a little bit of the norm here and see one of them grab the win here tonight. I did not see if actually Ryan Kelly not in the field here tonight, unfortunately. So we'll see if it's Dalton Kilrow that can make his way up through there and get himself his 4th win on the season. But man, we got a bit of a battlefield back here already, Jimmy. 3 wide racing, and it is tight, but everybody giving each other plenty of room as well.
Yeah, tight racing, but plenty of room on the track. It's one of those tracks, obviously, a multi-lane. That's a lot of drivers like this track. It gives them the opportunity to make some passes, fairly easy, and be able to safely and not feel like you're going to drive up into the wall every time you exit. So, yeah, it's kind of one of the favorites for these types of tracks. These 1.5 mile tracks appeal to a lot of drivers, so you can actually race and move, and you're not on the limits of you're relying on somebody braking or overdriving a short track or flat track corner. We got some banking out here, some speed, and the ability to make some decisions at decent speed. But here it is here early, as Dustin Franklin is your leader over Brandon Muir. That's right on the tail there. The only 2 cars there with the kind of Vegas kind of paint schemes out there tonight, but just lead the way over Todd Merkel there in 3rd. But got some 2 wide action back here with the 72, John Garrett and the 41 of Dalton Kilrow.
I'm guessing, Barry, you mean Dalton Kilrow in the 41 out there, not the 46. Yeah, getting a little confused with your favorite from another series, as you like to root for Grady Gherkin out there in the 46. But Dalton Kilrow in the 41, you see him right there behind the 66 of John Garrett, as he is running one of the other sponsors out here tonight. I want to thank those sponsors: Fort Worth Screen Printing, Hilton Crafts and Designs, and Goldline Guardians. And it looks like we do have Tim Lee out there as well, so good to see Tim back out there in at the field, and some good green flag racing here already, as the laps will tick by pretty quickly here at Vegas. Just a little bit over 30 seconds here. 30, the low 31s right now are what the drivers are running, and I think that's still maybe a comfortable pace. I think once they really get in it, get on it, you'll probably see sometimes maybe creep into the high 30s once they really want to get in there and use those tires up. But right now, just maybe settling into a pace. It's Brandon Muir at the front, Dustin Franklin, Todd Merkel, Mike Hasty, John Garrett for your top 5.
And Brandon Muir on the outside, trying to get around the 73 of Dustin Franklin. Has the lead there that time by, so maybe the outside starting to come to life as the tires start to wear down just a little bit from staying down towards the bottom. And it can happen. It's always a good way to kind of keep the momentum going there on the outside, and the 71 able to finally make that pass over to 73 of Dustin Franklin. So move Brandon Muir out front here tonight at Las Vegas. Todd Merkel still hanging in there back there, P number 3. The battle continues here between now the 41 and the 66. Here for P number 5, as John Garrett has just lost the spot there to Dalton Kilrow. Dalton Kilrow continue to try to move forward just a little bit. He's up 3 spots from the start. Biggest move of the race, though, is going to go to the number 31, Todd Boston, starting in the back of the field. So maybe having a bad qualifying run. He started shotgun the field, but now halfway up through. So back to the front here, hope and with high hopes here for the Nerds machine.
Yeah, obviously, one of our winners here for the season got to see the Nerds mobile in Victory Lane at Daytona. So looking for win number 2 here on the season. But there's a lot of drivers out here that would love to finally crack through for their first win. Obviously, we got a lot of them up there in the top 5 right now. Dalton Kilrow, the only one in the top 5 that has a win on the season. But he's got 3 of them. He's the points leader for a reason, and already up 3 spots from the start, as mentioned by Jimmy. Todd Boston is the one that's moved up the most here so far, up 9 spots after starting shotgun in the field. And then Eric Blunt started in 9th. He dropped 9 spots here in the field. So I guess, kind of flip-flopping, just a long way about flip-flopping there for the 31 and the 6. But out front by about 0.2 of a second is Brandon Muir in the lead right now, as we already start lap number 13 here tonight. So it's clicking by pretty quickly here, and I'm sure we'll see, I would think, a 2 pit stop type of race here tonight, Jimmy.
Yeah, I did get a pit, kind of a pit strategy from anybody here tonight, so your guess is as good as mine. Just kind of riding on board with some of the cars, and I heard a few clutching in, which means the engine obviously goes down to 0, and hardly any sound going around the corners. Just lifting and letting the car do most of the work through the entrance. So some strategy happening here early on by a few drivers, maybe for to see if what can happen. And here at VVR, they run so many green flag laps, Carl. It's best to be able to control your tires and your saving fuel. They only have 2 sets of tires behind the wall, so they got a set on the car and they got 2 behind the wall, and that's it for 100 laps. So that could be a stop at lap 33 and 66, or is somebody going to go for the 50 and try to make it to 100? There's always all them options out there for these drivers. 55% fuel here tonight, 1 fast repair and 1 green-white checker is what they were calling for over there on Facebook. So, but right now we're on lap 15 of 100, so a little over 1/10 of the way through here as we work our way around Vegas. The odds, obviously forever shifting around. As you can see up front, here in front of Len McNeese, so it's in P number 8. Got some 2 wide action behind the leader now of Dustin Franklin. So we'll go up to Dustin Franklin, we'll flip around, and there they are. You got Todd Merkel on the bottom side of the 71 of Brandon Muir, and then you got Mike Hasty there, and Michael Taylor as well, who's starting to crawl up through the field as well, as he is now up to number 6. So good racing so far. Looking for 3 wide here as Dalton Kilrow looks to go between the 2 of Todd Merkel and the 71 of Brandon Muir, and trying to make the pass off the wall. That was a close one there. The 71 almost got into the 41, making the pass, going 3 wide here at Vegas.
Yeah, and a little bit of gambling, I would say, by the 41 shooting the middle, but he's going to be put out on the outside now, 3 wide as 72 Mike Hasty to the inside, as Todd Merkel is probably done with this 3 wide racing here already, but he also doesn't want to lose those spots, gets close there to drifting up into the 41. But one thing you can say about this series here is that they know how to run around each other. It doesn't matter how many cars are out there on the track. They race hard, but they also race fair. They give each other plenty of room. Very rarely do we see, even when it's 2-3 wide racing like that, cars getting together unless somebody makes just a slight little mistake. So you're not as worried. Me and Jimmy, if we've seen this in some other series, we've seen them 3 wide, kind of be tensing up a little bit, like what's going to happen here? But it's just kind of, all right, who's going to come out on top here out of this 3 wide battle here for VVR?
Yeah, I mean, Todd Merkel there obviously stuck in the middle. Probably he just lifted just a little bit, fell behind the 72 try to get himself a run and maybe take that spot back from the 41 of Dalton Kilrow. It's now climbed up into P number 2, up 6 spots. So now track it down to number 73 of Dustin Franklin, and that's the last thing you kind of want to do here with the 41 is to let him get out front and set the pace here. But he's very good at managing his fuel, keeping things kind of kosher. He sometimes doesn't do what everybody else is doing. You'll see people come in for fairly pit stops, and he doesn't let it bother him. He just runs his own race pretty much every single week and finds himself with a pretty great finish. Right now, sitting in P number 2 by Casey in third, Todd Merkel, Brandon Muir for your top 5. But we'll go back here just a little bit farther, but catching up to this pack here. That number 98 of Michael Taylor in the Toxic Waste Machine and Len McNeese catching up as these drivers were battling here a little bit. And you also have John Garrett back here and even Derek Paulson climbing back here. This front group is starting to kind of catch up to each other here. And obviously your biggest movers is Todd Poston back here still in 11th, kind of hanging out. So hopefully he didn't burn his tires off too much. But we're on lap 21 of 100 here at Vegas.
Well, thank everyone out there for tuning in here tonight. Hit that like, hit subscribe as we always ask you to get this video up there in the YouTube algorithm and help Virtual Velocity Racing get some more views on their content and maybe pick up some more drivers here, as well as a little bit lower of a count here tonight, under 20. Typically we see maybe just over 20 cars out there, but 18 out here tonight. I know there was the iRacing update that's certainly playing a part here for drivers not being able to get into it. I know there's some storms in the Midwest as well, and I myself didn't have power from about 5 o'clock this morning till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon for whatever reason. I don't know. They just like to shut our power off, I think, at this point. I mean, we did have some storms go through. We did have some wind, and I don't know exactly when the power went out. I'm guessing it was about 5 a.m. because our dog was in our room panting because she doesn't like loud noises. She doesn't like when it's too quiet. She doesn't like when not everybody is at home at the same time. So she's got little tics, but the panting is what wakes me up every time, because she comes right over the side of the bed and she's shaking and panting because it's too quiet, because we don't have a heater on or a fan on or something to kind of create a little bit of white noise, especially in the kids' room, which is where she normally sleeps. We have just like a little night light that plays kind of like almost sounds like a waterfall, so it creates some noise, and apparently that helps her sleep as well. But when that's not going, she's got issues, and that's putting it mildly. But yeah, that's what I dealt with this morning and for most of the day. But we're back. I'm back. We got some racing here, and it's a good one here as we're already a quarter of the way through this race here at Las Vegas. And yeah, Jimmy, you mentioned some drivers like this track. I'm a big fan of this track. I like how it drives. It's nice and wide. You mentioned it's got multiple grooves, and you really can put the car wherever you want. You can ride the bottom down by the white line. You can run right through the middle, which it seems to be the preferred line here tonight, going through the middle of the track. You can definitely get up there and wall ride a little bit as well. Whatever you need to do, or whatever the car wants you to do, you can certainly do out here on this track, and it usually puts on some great green flag racing, as it's doing here tonight.
Yeah, like I said, just kind of try to pay attention to the drivers here, and I know they kind of adjust the fuel levels here at VVR. It's always been a touchy subject to not have it like fuel races, but constantly, like week in and week out, I still see them doing the fuel saving thing just a little bit. Maybe not a lot, but just enough, trying to stretch it just a little bit to see if they can, maybe. Like, I only want to two-stop. I only want to two-stop this thing. I only want to I don't want to three-stop this thing. So, obviously, 27 laps in here. And your leaders are fuel saving right now, by the way. And so maybe that's why the change of leaders so quickly here, as it now does look like the 41 of Dalton Kilrow going to get up there. Todd Merkel going to put his nose in there as well, try to get around or either positions while Dalton Kilrow gets to the underneath the 73 of Dustin Franklin. But the driver's doing a fantastic job here as the battle for the lead here ensues. And Dalton Kilrow is still looking to grab that lead, but drivers are, giving each other room. I mean, it's just all over the track. You see them too wide, but they're too wide and with like a car between them. So it's plenty wide enough here at Vegas, and it's too early to tell who and when and what people are going to do. But we're on lap 29 of 100, and now Dalton Kilrow, the number 41, is really.
It didn't take too long here to see that 41 get to the front. I think Dustin Franklin maybe just used up those tires a little bit too early here in the run, and Dalton Kilrow, Todd Merkel able to run him down, make the pass here, and speak of the devil, Dustin Franklin into pit lane here. Not sure if this is a little bit early, Jimmy, and it's right before a third of the way through this race. I gotta imagine that 41 probably already had that in mind. He typically knows what to do when it comes to this fuel strategy and making sure he can stretch it out if need be, and would not be surprised to see him make it to at least a third of the way through this race before he comes into the pits. But as early as the 73 coming in there, I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to get him to that second pit stop and make it to the end.
Yeah, it's I think a little early, as everybody is still out. The only car to kind of come in there on lap number 30. Now starting lap number 31. They need to go at least 2 more laps, I think, on this one. If they can get 1 extra out of it, that would be even better, I think. Slap some new tires on there and go out there for another 33. You're probably going to still need to save just a little bit. And then that third one, if this stays green the whole way, then they can bring it down. But cars coming in here at the end of lap 32. So, Carl, it's going to be close, whether they can make it the entire way.
Yeah, again, still not at the 33 lap mark, and really, you'd probably like to get to 34 to be a little bit more certain. But we still see quite a few cars out there, the top 11 right now, yet to come into the pits. We'll see nobody here in the front coming in. Actually, Todd Merkel is going to peel off in the number 2, now going to come into the pits. And maybe we're wrong. Maybe this is some short pitting to get some better track position. Maybe these cars can go closer to 40, and now they're just coming in now instead. But we still have 5 cars. Dalton Kilrow, actually 6 cars. Dalton Kilrow, Derek Paulson, Michael Pratt, Ty Marasco, Cole Spaulding, and Eric Blunt yet to come into the pits. This is lap number 33 right here. So we'll see if we have some more of these cars peeling off. We do have the 5 coming down into pit lane. I believe, yeah, it took him a little bit to get woed up there. But the 41 of Kilrow keeps trucking on.
Yeah, truck along here. Obviously, off the throttle quite a bit. Not too much, but enough, You could save fuel pretty easily by just gradually getting in on the throttle instead of slamming it down like a light switch. You'd be amazed how much fuel you could save by just working your way up through the speed here. But Dalton Kilrow coming down for his stop here, getting it low down prior to the cones. Now in the pits, so your leader Dalton Kilrow brings it in. It's going to throw things over here to the number 1 of Ty Marasco as he goes by. I'll go ahead and bring up the tower here. You can see who hasn't pit yet. Ty Marasco being one of the last drivers out there that did not pit. Well, I'm lap number 35, so you want to talk about stretching fuel, Carl.
Yeah, and I think Ty Marasco maybe just trying something different here tonight because he's still looking for that first win on the season. He certainly has had some great runs this season, ton of top 5s. He's got 4 top 5s in the first 7 races, but unfortunately not able to crack through and get that top step of the podium yet so far this season. We'll see if tonight he's got the right right strategy, that is, to get this thing done here. But he's going to be the last one to come down into pit lane. It's going to complete the first pit cycle here tonight, and it should register back out to Dustin Franklin moving back into the lead. But again, that's also because that 73 was down in pits early, so he was able to get those fresh tires on the 73 back out there, turn some good laps. He's got that thing back in front, but he pit him about number 29. So
can you get back out there and get it going? lose you?
Nope, still here. Just watching this race and watching Todd Merkel run down the 73 here as Merkel pit 3 laps later than Dustin Franklin. So now that he's out there, he's got a little bit fresher tires. You see him running down that 73 right now, and going to look to the inside. Excuse me, inner turn number 1. And you see how much better that car sticks. The tires really going to mean something here tonight. So not only is stretching out that fuel going to help, but if you can stretch out that fuel and get some fresh tires on it, it's not going to benefit you in the short run with everybody coming in and short pitting it, but you'll be able to run them down with the fresh tires as long as they don't have too big of a gap. And you see now Todd Merkel getting the 2 to the front, so Newlier out here in Vegas, but Dalton Kilrow already catching up here to the 73. In 3rd place right now, Derek Paulson in 4th, keeping tabs with him as well. Then you got Sean Wilder now moving into 5th, just passing Brandon Meir. Both of them pit on lap number 31, so the pit stops kind of spread out all over the place. But again, unless these drivers were short pitting coming in before lap number 33, I don't like their chances at this point in the race. I mean, granted, a caution at any point will throw all this out the window. But as it stands right now, that the field spread out pretty nicely here, although 41 gets into the back of the 73 there as they're trying to work. And now the 73 got enough of a shot there. He's trying to make it past Todd Merkel, and he's going to do so, as will the 41. So Merkel going backwards here a little bit, maybe realizing, you know what, maybe I don't want to lead right now. I need to save a little bit of fuel.
And that might be the case, for Todd Merkel. And obviously, he's got the speed to kind of hang out with these drivers here at the moment. But let's talk about Sean Wilder here tonight just a little bit. As that 91 has cracked the top 5 and right here with your leaders. So, 91 putting it down here tonight, trying to poke his nose and contend with these leaders as they work their way around here at Vegas.
Good start to the race here as we're already going to complete 41 laps with Kilrow now back in the lead. Derek Paulson in 2nd, but looks like he is going to clear the 73 now. And now the 91 of Sean Wilder going to get inside the 73 here as well. So it worked out in the short term here to get the 73 back to the front. But you see those older tires now starting to wear in a little bit, and unfortunately dropping back through the field right now is Dustin Franklin back to 4th. Still got Todd Merkel behind him, so I'm not sure if Todd Merkel, kind of heated those tires up, or again maybe he's just falling back there, realized, you know what, I'm going to have to save a lap or 2 before the end of this race, because he came in at lap number 32, so at least a little bit closer to the kind of the cutoff to make it a 2 pit stop race. But we'll see how it all plays out here. Beautiful night here in the desert here at Vegas. The sun's shining. It is a great day for racing for sure. And I mean, taking a look at the track temp here, looking at a nice balmy 109-degree track temperature. So not exactly conducive for saving some tires out there. A little bit toasty, but we've seen hotter. It can definitely get a lot worse than that. So these drivers doing a great job here so far as we're near the halfway point.
Yeah, it's obviously that track temperature could really affect obviously your lap times and whatnot, but definitely how much the car, them tires, how long they last and how fast they heat up. Obviously you're going to have a tire with 80% tread life on it, but if it's smoking at 300 and some degrees, it might as well just be flat.
Pretty interesting, the 5 of Derek Paulson not letting his teammate get away here tonight. He came in 1 lap earlier, so he's actually got 1 lap older tires than the 41. But I think the 41 maybe just kind of dictating and controlling the pace right now at the front to make sure that he can get it there on 1 more pit stop. Looks like Glenn McNeese coming into pit lane here a little bit early with the 84. He didn't take tires on his last pit stop. So, maybe hoping that a caution at some point puts him in the catbird seat for the end of this thing. But going to come in right now. He's going to go down a lap coming into the pits this early, and this is not going to put him in a spot to get to the end on well, I guess from now he can get to the end on one more pit stop, but this is going to be a 3 pit stop race for the 84. Meanwhile, the 5 getting a little bit closer here, the 41, maybe trying to push it here a little bit. I know we talked to Kilrow last week, and maybe a little tiff going on between the MFRD drivers, and they weren't hanging out in the same channel last week, and maybe they're yeah, looks like still not hanging out in the same channel here this week. So not sure what's going on there. Maybe there's a little breakup. Maybe there's a little separation going on between the teammates here up front, and certainly a separation between the 5 and the 1 right now. Ty Marasco, as he's back there in 12th, but Marasco was able to keep that thing out there until lap number 35, longest one out there. So definitely a different strategy for the 1 here tonight. But either way, it is Kilrow, Paulson, Wilder, Franklin, Merkel, and Mir for your top 6. Then Poston, Garrett, Taylor, and Hasty for the top 10.
If you're interested in seeing Dalton Kilrow's point of view, or want to maybe yell at him in chat over there, you can visit twitch.tv at halfder FDK. Halfder.
Yep.
Halfder.
No, it's DEAF.
Oh yeah, half-def. Yeah, DK. Yeah, half-def Dalton Kilrow. Or maybe that's from all the sounds in his ears, but looks like he does have a Twitch channel. If you want to go ahead and hop over there and yell at him what tell him he's going too fast or something. He's doing a great job out there right now, as he leads here at Vegas over his teammate Derek Paulson, but he said there's a feud in the making here. Carl's manifesting that as we speak.
Yep. I'm rubbing my hands together right now. Like, let's get this going here. Let's get some little drama for this season. Well, I think there's another thing we need to get a little going here as we're past the halfway point now. Jimmy, I think we need a little love to hear it.
Love to hear it.
Sights and sounds here of the Virtual Velocity Racing Xfinity / O'Reilly's series here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, as we're in the midst of our second pit stops here tonight, and should be the last one for quite a few of these drivers as they made it past the 2/3 mark here. Dalton Kilroy now coming in here on lap number 68. Ty Marasco also in this lap, as is Michael Pratt. Cole Spaulding should be completing the second pit cycle here of the night. Tim Lee last pit on lap number 54, so he'll be the next one that'll end up having to come in before this race is over. But quite a few drivers should be good to go to the end, but not all of them. We've seen a couple of mistakes coming into pit road. Hemi Gardini getting a black flag entering pit road, so he had to serve a 40-second penalty. We see the 72 of Mike Hasty getting a little sideways coming in. Didn't get a black flag, but put it into the pit road wall there a little bit, so he's now falling way back to 15th position, and going to have an uphill battle for the rest of this race for sure. Cole Spaulding now into the pits, completing his cycle here as well. But it is Derek Paulson out front right now, as he pit 2 laps earlier than Dalton Kilroy, but he pit on lap number 66, so he should be good to go to the end. May have to save a little bit of fuel at some point just to be sure to make it to the end here. Dalton Kilroy shouldn't have to save at all. Pit on lap number 68, so we'll see how quick the 48 makes the 5 light work here tonight, as he goes to the outside lane here to try and make the pass. And whatever tiff is going on here, I don't know. We'll see if it culminates here, as looks like the 41 easily gets by for the time being, but we'll see if there's any retaliation here by the 5.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the 48 out there, but the 41 sure did go around the 5 car.
Sean Wilder up 10 spots in 3rd as it stands, and Todd Poston is up 12 spots into to 6th place. Biggest movers of the race. I gotta turn you up, Jimmy, for some reason. A little bit low here tonight. No, I heard you saying something, but
you called Dalton Kilroy the number 48. I was like, I don't see the 48 out there. Losing your numbers as well as your power here tonight, but Dalton Kilroy obviously getting out there. Yeah, Sean Wilder obviously doing a fantastic job. We talked about him just a little bit there. He's shown his way here tonight in that number 91 the pit stall machine out here. So just doing a fantastic job. He's been making his way through the field. Todd Poston continues to march forward, and then number 31 to have a great race. But coming in here on lap number 73, along with Len McNeese. And they were, Poston was in on lap 45, so that makes sense. No, he was at 63.
Yeah, so well, it wasn't at 66. So he was. I don't think he realized now he wasn't going to make it to the end. So he's decided to be coming early here, a little bit of a short pit to try and get back out there and maybe run down some of the leaders. 2-tire pit stop there for the 31. And we'll see Len McNeese. Looks like he's going for 4 tires. Sean Wilder, Dustin Franklin, both in the pits here and making an early pit stop. But this is going to put them way behind and possibly a lap down. Certainly Todd Poston, John Garrett, and Len McNeese right now are a lap down, as is Tim Lee right at the edge of, I think he just went a lap down. Trying to see where, he is going to go even further down at this point, because he's coming in to make his pit stop here. This will be the final one for the 24, but I think a lot of these drivers may need a caution here at the end of this thing to really get them back in with a chance to win this thing. Otherwise, it's maybe a 2-car battle between the 41 and the 5. If it's a battle at all, is really the question, because the 41 has 2 lap newer tires. He's got 2 laps more fuel than the 5. So, does the 5 have anything for the 41? You got Ty Marasco has got the same amount of fuel and tires as Dalton Kilroy, pitting on lap number 68. But he's 7 seconds behind right now, so he's got a lot of time to make up. Right now, MFRD making up 1, 2, and 3. So the team doing very well but right now it could be just a 2-horse race at most for the win here tonight.
It's a different type of race here. Obviously, the gambling going on, and the gamble has been from the start. It's been green, and VVR is very well known here for green flag runs on CRN. And it's when they have those nights, it's like, what's going on? They having a drinking contest behind closed doors here before they got in their sim rigs, but. Yeah, it's very rare that these drivers are kind of like all over the place or really making poor choices on how to handle the cars out on the track. Obviously, some tracks giving a little more challenges than others. We're about halfway through here to the second third of the season before they'll take a week off and then have another series of 7 races. In the Xfinity series, so about 10 more. I think it's 10 more races left here for virtual velocity racing here in the Xfinity cars, and then I think they're going to take just a small break, maybe a week, maybe 2 max, and then be back in the trucks for the second half of the year or their second season of the year. But they're going to be out there in the trucks, so I'm looking forward to that. As a different car out here and mixing it up just a little bit, like a lot of leagues like to do. They like to kind of keep things fresh instead of running the same thing over and over and over again. Mix it up just a little bit, as we've seen in some of the other leagues that have started back up this season. Obviously, CSRL moving. They had their little pre-race run. It was a race, but they had their little kind of pre-race there at the Charlotte Roval with some multi-class racing there for the road. Who else is? Somebody else is shifting the trucks.
Hold Your Brakes Academy.
Hold Your Brakes Academy shifting the trucks as well. So maybe a shift the trucks here for the later half of the season is what the doctor ordered here for CRN, as we'll see even the likes of, besides the Ford, the Chevy, Toyota, the new likes of the Dodge Ram has made its presence here at iRacing. So I wanted to see, looking forward to seeing all the cool paint schemes that the drivers come up for those trucks. But right now we have 20 laps to go. Dalton Kilroe is your leader over the 5 of Derek Paulson. Ty Marasco in 3rd. Brandon Meyer in there in 4th. Michael Pratt up in the top 5.
Yeah, 21 race season here for VVR and the O'Reilly's series, as the final race will be on June 11th, and it'll take actually about a month off until they start up the truck series on July 9th. So looking forward to seeing the trucks back out there. We'll get to see them back out there, well, very soon here with as we already did with the Hold Your Brakes Academy, but we'll get to see him out here later this year here for virtual velocity racing. We'll see what that does for car count. It's always scary when you make a decision to switch cars, or switch the type of series that you're going to be doing, anything like that, any kind of changes, especially when you have decent car counts. I mean, for the most part, I think they've been getting 20 plus here for a majority of the season, and majority of the time that we've seen VVR here on CRN. This week only 18 cars, but again, I think there's a few factors that came into play here tonight, especially the iRacing update certainly hurt quite a few. I think before getting into the season here, getting in the race session here tonight. So
are needed.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that definitely played a part. But I mean, you're getting 20 plus cars out there typically to make the decision to switch over is not a light one, and you got to make sure that you have enough drivers on board for that type of change. And we've been talking about it now for a couple seasons over in Core, wanting to know if we should switch over and not run the Xfinity / O'Reilly cars for next season, but the numbers are so good that it's like it's not broke, so why try and fix it, and just keep it rolling until the numbers start dwindling, and then maybe look to make some kind of change. There's definitely going to be some changes in the Core GT series. Should be broadcasted again next season. We got a couple broadcasters, maybe even a 3-man booth for next season. So looking forward to that, as we'll have a doubleheader again and on CRN on Thursdays with myself and Jimmy covering right here the Virtual Velocity Racing Series. And then we'll have a few other broadcasters still iron out the details of which ones it's going to be. But they'll be covering the core GT series. But there's going to be some quite some big changes over there, and stuff that I don't think have ever seen on CRN as well. So stay tuned and see what some of those changes will be for the next season, and we'll unveil those once everything gets fully ironed out. But good one here tonight as we are rounding the final bend here and looking at the final laps of this race. As it stands, it is Dalton Kilroe leading the way here tonight by 1.5 seconds over Derek Paulson. Ty Marasco in third, Brandon Meir, Michael Pratt for your top 5, Cole Spaulding, Todd Merkel, Cade Green, Michael Taylor, and Eric Blunt for your top 10. All 18 cars still out there, still trucking, still green flag racing as well. Certainly, you get the idea, the difference. Sure, you can say it, per league between Pit Road and VVR, because VVR does have a lot of higher I-rating drivers in here, so they tend to have some really good races here over and over and over again. But the different types of tracks, and there's a reason why me and Jimmy poo-poo Martinsville so much. You seen why last night. It's such a dog track, plain and simple. And I will say it as many times as I need to. And again, there's a reason that Core has blacklisted Martinsville. Very, very, very rarely does it ever put on a good race. And I mean, between me and Jimmy, we can count on one hand, maybe one finger, how many times we've seen a green flag to checker flag race at Martinsville. It just
one.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And one. You know what you're saying? One. That's what I said. We can count on one finger combined.
I stopped oval racing 4 years ago. But I drove in one. That's how long ago it's been.
And it's the fact that that's an accomplishment that tells you everything that you need to know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was I just remember, like, from that Martinsville race, how the other drivers were like, that was a great race. Everybody did a great job. Bro, pat you on the back. Green all the way, green flag. It was crazy. The drivers actually gave each other some room. The braking was on point. I mean, there was some elbowing going on, obviously. Martinsville short track, but it was the racing that you expect or you want to have and expect to see, and that's why people keep trying. And like, well, we ain't gonna get any better unless we do it. And that's the honest truth. I don't mind going to Martinsville. I don't want it. I feel sorry for the drivers that have to drive it, and this turns out to a poop show. So it's just it is what it is over there. But we got
we said Martinsville too many times, Jimmy. We said Martinsville too many damn times. There was a caution. I did see the 31 of Todd Poston get a little bit loose on the backstretch. It looks like he might have eventually lost the car here.
Yep.
You see right there coming out of turn number 2, trying to save it, and then eventually it slides actually down off the track here, and it's still going to bring out a caution here late in the race. Now, this is where it gets interesting, Jimmy, because I'm sure a lot of these drivers already used both sets of their tires. But does anybody have a set of tires left in the pits? I think maybe the 84 does, because I think he didn't take tires on that first pit stop. So maybe Len McNeese will. Well, he can't though, because he's a lap down right now. So he needs to get the waiver out here. Won't be able to come in, so he's gonna need a late race caution here, or maybe you take tires this time and then hopefully you get a lucky dog. I don't know, but very interesting here. Ty Marasco coming into the pits. It looks like he took maybe just right side tires on the last pit stop. Maybe he wants to come in and take left side tires, see what that does, or maybe he's still got a set of tires left in the pits, but only him. And it looks like Cade Green coming into the pits on this one.
That left side's going up, so at least had some left side tires here for the one. And we'll go back to Cade Green here, down and out as well. So Hemi Garridini probably doing the same thing. Make sure you got enough fuel, maybe some fresh tires. kind of making way around here. Tim Lee out on the track here. So a few drivers, a few laps down. Obviously, still have 10 on the lead lap. Mike Hasty coming in here this time by. So maybe Mike Hasty has something to do with some tires and fuel. Those that have to baby the throttle and all. They should be good now with the caution, but you never know how much they feel that they have to baby it just a little more. And if you can just get just a little splash, enough where you don't have to baby the throttle, it's always a good thing. Car not taking any tires for the 72 here tonight, so he's already been done, but he's going to get himself a little splash and drink there of fuel to get this thing to the end. Dalton Kilrow is still your leader over Derek Paulson and Brandon Muir. Michael Pratt in the top 5, or I think this is the first time or second time this season. So we can maybe get up here on a podium spot here before the season's end. We're about almost the halfway mark. Cole Spalding up 11 spots as well, and 5th. And then Tom Merkel, Ty Marasco, Eric Blunt, Kate Green, and Mike Casey are on your lead lap. And then you have Sean Wilder, unfortunately, going a lap down with Dustin Franklin, John Garrett, Len McNeese, Mike Taylor, Todd Boston, Tim Lee is 2 laps down with him and Gardini as well. 2 laps down.
So, I mean, we're doubled up here. We're getting ready to go. It's going to be 6 laps to go to finish this thing off. I mean, if we had to do any kind of booth picks, Jimmy, do you dare pick against Dalton Kilrow? Is there anybody out there that you think maybe has a shot to take down the 41 here tonight?
I'd like to see what the one. I'm not saying the one's going to do it, but I'd like to see what the one strategy plays out as it came in and took left side tires, Carl. So, how much of a difference is for left to have a good set of lefts? I know rights always seem to be the most important. Getting that outside, rotation kind of going on here, but we're going to get this thing back underway as the 41 gets on that loud pedal and jumps out to a nice little lead over Dalton Kilrow and Brandon Muir. They work their way down to turn number 1. They're almost single file, but it looks like the 5 of Derek also going to get himself a little run there. They're trying to make the pass here on the 71. Here comes the number 77 though of Michael Pratt up there in P04 as trying to lead a charge. Had to get that machine up front, but if you go back here just a little bit, the driver that took two tires
wide.
Whoa! There goes Sean Wilder.
Yeah, the one was kind of trapped back there, and Wilder maybe causing another caution here, as it looked like he came up on the track. I thought maybe he got involved, but no, it looks like we'll keep it straight and keep it going here. But yeah, the one of Ty Marasco was kind of stuck, kind of blocked on that restart there. Couldn't really get going, and eventually seen a bit of a gap shot at 3 wide through the middle. He's made his way up to 6th, but I think because of that little bit of a roadblock in front of him here on the restart may have cost him any shot at the win. We'll see how it works out. He's already to the inside here of Cole Spalding for 5th place. Going to send it to the inside. Easily makes a pass. You see that car is rotating very nicely, but he's got to find a way around these drivers quickly. Now to the inside of Michael Pratt already, trying to move up into 3rd. I tend to agree, Jimmy, that one is on the move here, but does he have enough time? Right now, it's a half a second, almost 0.6 of a second in between Dalton Kilrow and Derek Paulson. So the one's going to have to make quick work here of Brandon Muir and his teammate, the 5 of Derek Paulson, to have any shot at Kilrow, because we're down to 3 laps to go.
Yeah, 3 quick laps to go. Under 2 minutes, and this thing will be wrapped up, and you'll have your winner here as long as they stay green. They had a fantastic green flag run here tonight at Vegas. The one is going to get by the 71. 3 laps to go. They're coming across the line here for 2 laps to go. The one is going to end up short here, trying to get the spot away from the 41 of Dalton Kilrow. But can Ty Marasco make it around the 5?
Tries to go to the inside here, just doesn't get a good enough run. I think he's got a good enough car to get to maybe second place here on the last lap, but it's going to be too little too late here to get up to that top spot. A heck of a run back through this field. As we seen earlier, he was way back in the field, and we found out it was because he was saving fuel, and he was the last one to pit on that first pit cycle. But now we get the white flag here. One more lap to go, using the grass, using everything in his power to try and catch up to the 5 and try and make that pass, but it almost seems like he's kind of stalled out. Maybe those left side tires finally giving up on him here, and he's gonna maybe have to settle for third place. But meanwhile, entering turn number 3, looking to go back to back here tonight after winning last week excuse me, at Phoenix. The 41 right back in the victory lane. He's now got the most wins on the season with 4, as Dalton Kilrow is your winner here tonight. Second place gonna go to the 5 of Derek Paulson. Third gonna go to the 1 of Ty Marasco. Brandon Muir, Todd Merkel for your top 5. Heck of a attempt there from the 1, and you've seen, just 2 fresh tires helped and worked to get through some of the field, but just not enough here. And we see a little bit of an incident. I think this was after the checkered flag.
No, this is before.
Oh, this was before coming to the checkered flag. A big incident here with the 84 Len McNeese as he was working his way through the field with those new tires, as I mentioned. Actually, no, he didn't come in. He came in at laps number 72. But unfortunately, McNeese is going to finish back there in 16th. We'll get our top 3 here in further interviews as Dalton Kilrow burning it down here on the front stretch.
Here in the background, we'll switch cameras so you can see the smoke flying here at Vegas. 41 takes a little bit of tread off those tires here. But as he's doing that, we'll go ahead and bring up your final rundown of drivers here tonight for Virtual Velocity Racing in the Xfinity car at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Dalton Kilrow will be your winner over Derek Paulson, Ty Marasco, and then the 71 of Brandon Muir will be P number 4, Todd Merkel in 5th, Cole Spaulding in 6th, Eric Blount will be finishing 7th, Kate Green in 8th, Michael Pratt falls back to 9th, 10th Mike Hasty, 11th John Garrett, 12th is Dustin Franklin, Michael Taylor back in 13th, Todd Poston in 14th, Sean Wilder in 15th, Len McNeese in 16th, Hemi Gherardini in 17th, and Tim Lee finishing at the back of the pack here tonight in 18th.
I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so already, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. This was a good one here tonight. Only one caution. We'll give me and Jimmy an EOL on that one for talking about Martinsville just one too many times. And I even hopped into to the chat there with Tim Lee and some of the other admins and said that was on us. We'll go ahead and take the EOL. But either way, great one out here tonight. And certainly some good team racing here as the podium all MFRD teammates. So we'll get a chance to talk to them here in a second. I want to thank our sponsors here as well for the series: Hilton Crafts and Designs, Goldline Guardians, and Fort Worth Screen Printing. As we'll go ahead and start our interviews here tonight. And it's going to start with the 1 of Ty Marasco. Ty, you made a heck of an effort there late in the race, but we'll talk about that in a second. I want to talk about the start of this race. It looked like you guys, as long as you did a little bit of fuel saving, you can make it on 2 pit stops. You did some extra fuel saving on that first one, and were the last one to come into the pits and got yourself a lap led as well.
Yeah, a little bit of extra points, I guess. Might have saved too much. I tried to save enough to maybe I'd run harder the next 2 runs, but I think I should have hindsight's 2020. Probably should have drove a little harder in the first one and just drove about the same in the last 2. I had to drive really hard to try to gain any time, and I think I just gave up too much time in that first run to have a chance if we didn't get that yellow.
Well, it looked like on the second pit stop there, you took 2 right side tires, and you still had 1 set of left side tires, which you took there on that final pit stop. It clearly made a bit of a difference, but I got to feel like that kind of roadblock that you had right on the restart, where you had to eventually force a 3 wide, it maybe cost you a little bit and at least a chance at second.
Yeah, I think I might have had a chance at second for sure. If I was kind of I wasn't pissed off or anybody, but I was just like, dang, I'm stuck behind these guys. Probably could have stayed out on my 2 tires maybe, and at worst probably ended up with the same result. But I was just like, let's try left sides. Nobody ever does left sides. It makes the car tight.
we were talking about it in the booth. We're like, wonder how this is going to play out.
Nobody ever runs left sides, and I don't know what it was, but if I run like all the way down to the bottom, I guess the bumps made the car a little looser, so it kind of worked out a little bit. 3 and 4 it was really tight. 1 and 2 it was fine. 3 and 4 was really tight, but I don't know. I said let's try it. I mean, nobody tries it. What's the worst going to happen? I finished third. I was going to finish third anyway, so hey, we'll take it.
Well, either way, it was definitely a good run for the team as you guys sweep the podium here tonight and looked very well and helped you out with the points and maybe a little bit better of a finish than you did at Phoenix as well. So it's got to feel good to get back up here on the podium. So congrats again on the 3rd place here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Just you guys in the booth, Tim putting it on. I know there was a lot going on in the background in the league and conversation, and feel bad for him to have to deal with that during the race. Should be more like after the race, I think. But just all he does, and it was fun out there. Didn't want to be field saving that much, but hey, sometimes you got to play the game to win races or finish third. And we had a good points day. It's good to get back out there after I think I missed the past 2 weeks, so it's been good to get back out there and a good team win for the guys as well.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, congrats again on the 3rd place here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see what you can do next week. See if we can talk to you again.
Yep, thank you.
That is the one of Ty Marasco, your 3rd place finisher here tonight. 2nd place is going to go to the 5 of Derek Paulson.
Hey, Derek, Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. Do you copy?
I got you. You got me?
Yeah, we'll read you loud and clear here at CRN, and obviously another great race here with your fellow drivers here at Virtual Velocity Racing. You finished here tonight in 2nd place. Obviously the green flag run was awesome to watch. You guys had some pretty good racing throughout, and then the late caution comes to fruition here. It kind of throws everybody's strategy out the window. Were you thinking win?
To be honest, no, not really. I didn't start clutching right away when we started racing, which I mean, isn't that crazy? We're already thinking fuel at the beginning of the race, and got too far behind the 8 ball there. And I mean, when you guys got guys that can go 2-3 extra laps, you burn your stuff up when you can't. I mean, when you clutch and everything. So yeah, no, I was just hoping I could still stay second. I was hoping, that caution there towards the end, which I don't know if it could have been a little shady. I don't know, but I was hoping that we didn't get a caution. I was just hoping let's just get it done, get on the hauler. P2 car, I was happy with it, and yeah, here we are.
Well, you headed up here, finishing in P2. Obviously, cautions near the end always raise an eyebrow, especially when things are so clean and green here at VVR. But we want to say congratulations, man. One for running the classic Terry Labonte paint scheme and getting out here and finishing 2nd. But before we let you get out of here, go ahead and give you some time for any shouts you might have in at number 5.
Got to do Hilton Crafts and Designs, Fort Worth Screen Print, and Gold Line Guardians, our 3 main sponsors, and of course you guys up there in the booth. Couldn't we very privileged to have you guys broadcast us every week. Thank you guys for that. I gotta thank the guys again. I mean, jeepers, another race with basically no cautions. And a lot of give and take, and I gotta thank Tim and what he does for this league and all the admins. And yeah, I guess I'll go, Dalton, another good run for him tonight. Congratulate him on the win. And then Ty, he came back. Surprised he took tires. He took left sides there at the end.
Yes.
And he almost got me. He almost got me. So I was glad to at least beat him anyway, because I like to give him a bad time about that. But thank those guys, and again, everyone who showed up tonight.
We really appreciate the shout out tonight. We noticed that you guys are still having I don't know, temper tantrums or a piff down there in the MFRD crew, as you were kind of lonesome flying solo. But there's one way to put you all together in the same room, is put you in the broadcast weight room. And so we want to say congratulations tonight for your second place finish, and hopefully you get that victory here over your teammates, and we'll get to talk to you again. But until next time, we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That is your second place finisher here tonight. The 5 of Derek Paulson. Top spot here tonight, getting it done back-to-back weeks, is going to go to the 41 of Dalton Kilroe. Dalton, you didn't have to deal with Ryan Kelly out there here tonight, but you had to deal with your teammates here, and you were the top dog here once again for MFRD as you guys sweep the podium here tonight.
Yeah. Hate that we were having to race like that, throwing the clutch in from the get-go, but if you don't do that, you're finishing 15th with everybody else has to make an extra pit stop. So, I mean, did what I had to do, but that caution late definitely changed some things, and was kind of anticipating somebody coming through the field with fresh tires, but I think because of when I made my last pit stop on the green and how I was driving, I saved enough to where even with 2 tires, guys couldn't come through enough. So, yeah, it is what it is. Just kind of glad to be done. Been having a rough month and a half outside of the sim, so good to get to victory lane and take my mind off all that.
Yeah, it gets your 4th win in the season as well. Tops now for the league as you take one more than Ryan Kelly, and definitely a good start to the season here. You guys got plenty of races left to go with those 21 race season. Heading to a bit of a tricky stretch here with a couple races with Darlington and Martinsville. What do you think your chances are there of maybe getting a 5th win, 3rd win in a row, or even grabbing 2 wins?
Well, we'll have to see. I normally run decent at Darlington, 3 and 4. I just can't figure that out for the life of me. But we'll have to see what it's like on race night. And then Martinsville's Martinsville, so we could either have a really good race and everybody get all nice spread out and we go super long run, or it's iPacing. So hopefully we can figure it all out. But we'll just kind of take it as it comes every week.
Yeah, we just had a Martinsville race last night, and we know what it can do on a bad night. Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, the drivers are calling it the iPacing 500.
Yeah, it was not great, but we'll see. That's coming up in a couple weeks here at the end of March. We'll see you guys at Darlington first. But before we let you go here tonight, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to on this win?
Well, we got to thank MFRD. I mean, we all ran pretty well tonight, even though it was lonely in the voice channel because they weren't in there with me. So I was just kind of one man going it. I mean, hey, as a team, we did good. I think Gold Line Guardians, Hilton Krasn Designs, forward screen printing. All he does for putting this league on. I know we were having conversations in the race chat, and there was some frustrations. And it certainly probably wasn't coming across right, and I hate that it happened. But I think we all just want the best. Thank you guys for doing the broadcast, and everybody at home tuning in. Barry, let's go, baby.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on back-to-back wins here, 4th win on the season. Hopefully everything gets a little bit better for you in real life, but in the meantime, it's definitely looking pretty good here on the sim life. So congrats again on the win. We'll see you next week at Darlington.
Sounds good. Thank you.
That's your winner here, the 41 of Dalton Kilroe, getting it done here once again tonight. I want to thank everyone out there in Sierra Nation here once again. I want to thank our sponsors as well for getting this done. And as Dalton just said, I want to thank Tim Lee and all the admins that make VVR go around week in and week out. Another great race here tonight. Only one caution out there is definitely a good night. Well, I guess it's maybe a questionable night because they normally go caution free. So I can see why there's there's controversy. There's one caution, so definitely need to look into that. But either way, again, we will take the blame up here in the booth for that. We definitely said Martinsville one too many times. Well, we'll say Martinsville plenty of times in a couple weeks here, but we'll see if VVR can make it a little bit cleaner. I would think and tend to think that they would, but we got Darlington coming up first, and Darlington can be a beast of its own. It is the Lady in Black for a reason. So tune in next week for that one. That's going to do it here for this week here on CRN, as we're going to be back in action again on Sunday night with 191 Motorsports for their season finale right back here at Vegas. But for myself and Jimmy now from the CRN booth at Vegas, we'll see you at the track.